we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Everyone, it is The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. And today we're doing that with none other than Trinity Monaá. Hey, Trinity, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing even better because you are here getting ready to just help change lives and make lives better. I personally believe God gives all of us gifts and talents, and he expects us to use them to salt the earth. And when I met you, I was like, oh, I have to have her come on the show for sure.
Thank you.
So
I'm truly honored.
Thank you. Thank you for saying yes. I appreciate it so much. What made you actually say yes? Because I'm the one that asked you.
I wanted a way to promote my book, and this is definitely outside of my comfort zone. And my move here to Charlotte was for me to go out my comfort zone. So I was like, well, God put me here, so I might as well do it.
And do you believe in that God puts you in the right place at the right time, or do you believe more in happenstance?
I am definitely believing more that God puts me in the right place at the right time. Every day he's showing me that he's doing it. He's in control.
Well, this is good. This is good. So everybody, listen, as you all are grabbing your different seats and things, I want you to know that some of the content that we talk about today may be a little more intense. So keep that in mind. If you have any of your young people watching, I like to always just set the expectation that, that is a real life testimony here. And so I don't know how deep we'll go. So I want to make sure that I'm courteous and let you all know that. Because today we're talking about the complexities of the human experience. The complexities. And there's so many different angles and spin-offs to life's journey. And so our guest Trinity is going to almost like take us on a roller coaster ride tonight and help us, or today I should say, because this airs at all different times depending upon where you are in the country. Believe it or not, the Kim Jacobs Show now actually airs in 100 countries. So in some places it's morning, some night, some in the middle of the night. It's all over the world places happening. But she's going to take us on a journey in her own personal way this evening. So let me introduce her to you, and definitely need my glasses for this. Okay. So her background is very unique, blending her professional experience, and I'll let her talk about her behavioral psych background and how that's worked, along with her career as a poet and an aspiring trauma therapist. She's multifaceted in all different walks of life and really heavily does a lot of her work around her creativity. And we're going to learn more about that as well. She's 2021 graduate of Claflin University, and her academic journey has also helped her creative pursuits. So there's a lot of different things that she's been known for and become literally critically acclaimed, in my opinion, of some work that she's done. And we'll talk about those as well. So again, welcome here to the show.
Thank you.
All right. So let's just deep dive right into our conversation and tell us a little bit about your background, who you are, where you came from, because you don't just become creative. You actually had something that was brewing in you from early on. So let's just talk about some of your backstory first.
Yeah. Ever since I was young, I was always a writer. At first it was gospel songs. When I was younger, I would try to write gospel songs. In middle school and elementary school, it was stories, but that wasn't my niche. It was really in college when I found my niche, which was poetry. I used to use poetry as a way to cope. I still do. And I figured I wrote the book because I was like, if I can cope with it, somebody else can cope with it as well. It makes me feel less alone, and I can help others.
Yay. And so even though this was starting out as a personal journey for you, it's actually something that you knew would ultimately inspire other people. So you had to get it out.
Yes, definitely had to get it out.
That's good. And at what age do you say you realize that this is bigger than me? This is way beyond just Trinity Monaá.
I think it was actually last year when people actually started reading, because it used to be just a small little book for myself. I never let anybody look at it. But then I let my sister read it, actually. She was like, oh, cool, I like this. I relate to this. And she actually read the poem and had a different perspective than what I did. And I found that really interesting and fascinating. And that's when I started allowing other people to read more of my poems. And a lot of other people had different perspectives than I did, or took something different from it. And I was just like, wow, different perspectives, different strokes for different folks. And I was like, maybe I should put it out to the world.
Yes. And I'm so glad you did. And just so everybody that's tuning in knows, we're talking with Trinity Monaá, and she is the author of a poetry collection. All of the illustrations that are in this material, the book that the publication, she's formally done something personal with that. So how did all of the graphics come about that's throughout your poetry collection?
The graphics is brand new. It was a new concept that I did about 4 months before I published.
Yes.
I like doing a lot of creative things. Like I make stickers, and I'm just learning how to make t-shirts and things like that. And I was dabbling in acrylic art and watercolors.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I started making canvases at first because one of my coworkers actually was like, I want this poem right here on a canvas on my wall. And I was like, I've never thought of that. So I was like, I looked at the poem and I was like, what do I think of? What picture comes to mind when I do that? And I made her the canvas, and she loved it. And then I was like, what other pictures can I come up with and create with my other poems?
That's good.
So that's what that's how I got there.
Well, I actually have one of them. Well, I have the book. I have the actual book, but I have this image here. And I think that is so beautiful. The image is absolutely beautiful. And it says, it's one of your poems called Self-Love. Do you mind if I read it for a second?
Yep, go ahead.
All right. It says, I didn't love myself today. My clothes felt too tight, too loose, too wrong. I didn't love myself today. Looking in the mirror was too difficult, too unnerving. I didn't love myself today. Beauty wasn't in my vocabulary. Where myself and ugly are synonyms, I didn't love myself today. Showering felt too much, eating too little. I didn't love myself today, but I pray I do tomorrow. Tell me about that.
That one, I went to a poetry event and a guy did a poem titled I Didn't Love Myself Today. And it moved me so much. And I was just like, I have to do my own version of it. Especially because I do struggle with major depressive disorder. So there's some days where I just don't love myself. So I wrote that poem just to inspire hope into me, to like, today wasn't a good day, but prayerfully another day will be better.
I think I really like the fact, and we're talking again about how people balance all different aspects of your life. There are real people that I have coming here on the show, and regular, ordinary type of everyday heroes. that are inspiring you through their work of art or through the
Mhm.
poetry collection. And to hear your heart about that, I think that just really motivated me even more, because you're not putting on a facade. You're saying, some days I really struggle with this.
Mhm.
And because
Yeah.
I struggle with this, I have to ask for grace for the next day. I love that,
Yeah.
Trinity.
I was silent for so long because, in the Black community, mental health is not a thing. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to be true to myself, true to my struggles, and seek help. Yeah.
I want to know in the studio audience, because I don't want us to have a show and we don't have conversation surrounding this. How many of you are true to yourself? How many of you are really willing to say, there are some things that I'm struggling with? And maybe there's something even in Trinity Monet's poetry collection that can truly help you on your journey, or hearing her today. Maybe you have questions that you just need her to answer because she's being authentically herself and sharing from a place of transparency. So please don't let today's episode go by and you not get your questions answered. I would like for you to tell us too, Trinity, about your journey from Claflin University to becoming a behavioral psych technician, because you're very proud of that
Yes.
title.
Yeah, I am. Um, Believe it or not, I did not want to be a therapist or work with mental health in the beginning when I first went to Claflin. I wanted to be an FBI agent. I wanted to do forensic therapy. Forensic interrogations.
Okay.
I wanted to work with serial killers and find out why their brain ticks. But I met this one teacher, and he used to tell us about all his stories about working with veterans and working with children with schizophrenia, or children with multi-personality disorder, and it just fascinated me so much.
Okay.
And then I was like, well, and then I started taking more of his classes, more of his mental health based classes, and I was like, this might be it for me. Like, this is so interesting and so amazing to me. But it is hard to get into mental health, especially with a bachelor's degree. So I started with autism, working with children with autistic disabilities, and I love that. That was so much fun, despite the tantrums and the bad days. I absolutely loved it. But I knew that I wanted to go back into mental health, wanted to go back into helping people deal with their everyday struggles like I have. So my friend actually helped me find the job I was at. She was like, listen, if you want to do this, let's start sitting down, finding jobs, applying to jobs. And I got into the behavioral tech. I work at an awesome hospital, and I get to meet amazing people every single day that just are down on their luck one day. Like one guy, he was an amazing person and had all these big dreams, but just had schizophrenia. And like, just talking with them and just talking and really relating to them and helping them, and then watching them leave through those doors, never to return again. It's so inspirational, so inspiring. And I love what I do.
That is so, I can feel it. I'm actually typing what you're saying, because I want to know, have you ever felt, anybody that's tuning in today, have you ever felt down on your luck, and how did you handle it? Because I think that how we handle it can determine what type of help we actually need, in my opinion. So I would love for anybody that has any input on ever feeling like you've been down on your luck, and what you personally did to have a better outcome for yourself. And so just please share it, because I think what you're doing right now on this show is going to help so many people, because you're painting the picture of somebody having a great day, then for whatever reason something happened, transpired, and they're feeling down on their luck, and that changes the trajectory of
their lives.
everything for them.
Yeah.
So talk more from that perspective. What are some of the things that you've been able to personally do in your role to help people feel more like they have hope?
The biggest thing is just sitting there and listening to them. Just talking about their struggles, their everyday lives, how they view the world, and not coming from a place of judgment or, you know, you're crazy, here's some medication. Just sitting there and listening and making them feel like a human again. Because sometimes in the psych ward, it's just like, oh, they're talking mess, like just leave them alone. But then it's just like, yeah, but they're stuck in their brain.
Yeah,
pulling them out of that. Yeah.
I'm glad you're saying, I'm really glad you're saying that, because everyone wants to be heard. So I don't know anybody in the world that does not appreciate somebody hearing them out and listening to what it is that they are dealing with. Even if we think it's a valid issue or not, the point is they want to be heard, you know?
Yes.
I want to be heard. You want to be heard. So giving the same common courtesy that we would want from someone else from ourselves to that person is something that can really make a difference in their lives, you know?
Yeah.
And I was looking up statistics here too. According to the National Institute of Health, mental illness is very common in the United States and around the world. It's more estimated that more than 1 in 5 U.S. adults. That's me, you, Mackenzie's backstage. That's 3 of us. And then just pick any of my 2 kids. 1 of us have a mental health disorder situation, according to these statistics.
Yeah.
That's
it is huge. Very prevalent. Yeah.
That's 59.3 million people. And that was in 2022. So, you know, it's risen 23.1% of the U.S. adult population. And a lot of times people don't even really know what defines a mental illness. It's actually defined as mental, behavioral, or emotional disorder. And it can vary, because a lot of times people think, oh, we all have mental issues. But really, whenever we think about it, if it's serious and you need some assistance with it, then it's considered more of a serious mental illness, not just any mental illness. They have 2 different categories.
Yeah.
Any and serious. Yeah. Anyway, it's all I could read that for days. It's very intriguing
yeah.
Ashley said that's so pure, Trinity, honey. I love that. Sometimes just listening is huge.
Yeah.
And can you give us an example of, because it's easy when we say, oh, just listen to the person, but really, I think it's almost like an art and a skill to be able to do that. What are ways that you listen to the person that's dealing with their psychiatric situation?
Well, as a student in therapy, we're taught to actively listen, ask questions, summarize what they're saying, nod your head, make continuous eye contact, and just be engaged, present in the moment. Don't let your mind wander, and allow yourself to be fully in the moment with that client or with that patient.
I love that. Being fully in the moment with that client. Oh, absolutely. Ashley said, I am very honest with myself. And even when it stings, I'm so much better because of it. Being transparent, even with our own selves, and how we come across to people, how we handle people, is important for us to be able to have some necessary self-talk. It's like, Kim, you could have done that a lot better. You know, goodness well, you were like, just shut it already, or whatever I was feeling. And that's what was coming across on my continents. But sometimes we don't know how we look, because, as Les Brown says all the time, we're in the picture frame. So we don't see ourselves. Other people have to tell us how we look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call 988. Yes, 988 is the suicide prevention, right? For any emergency dealing with mental health illness. You can even call anonymously, but please make sure you do reach out, because there's help for you if you're dealing with some mental crisis, for sure. All right. So I'm eager to know too, what inspired you to merge your professional life and your creative passions? Because there are two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Psych, behavioral, and poetry collide.
You you would think they're two ends of the spectrum, but they actually go hand in hand. I mean, in a lot of, let me see, there's this thing called art therapy, and I love it. Actually, once I graduate, I want to start a nonprofit with my best friend in art therapy. But there's also a thing called play therapy, and I love that too. And sometimes people can't express themselves; they just don't have the words. I mean, like, there are some countries that don't even have a translation for the word depression.
Mm.
So you got to express yourself somehow. And if you don't have the words, then maybe you do have the pictures. I mean, we've been, as humans, as society, we've been coloring and drawing and doing hieroglyphics for the beginning of time.
Yeah,
So if you can't, I feel like if you can't express yourself with words, do it through pictures.
that's good.
Um, so yeah, they go hand in hand, really.
That's
And I have, like, if you can't tell them, at least you can show them. You know, mute people. They draw pictures. They write. They,
that's good.
you know, they find ways to communicate.
You drew so many different. I'm trying to make sure I know I don't have all. I don't want to show all the images because y'all want to get the book, but you drew so many different pictures. What
Yeah.
made you put that particular picture with that poetry piece?
For that one specifically, it was a sunflower, and
Yeah.
um I'm not the best at it. I'm not going to say that, but I love drawing sunflowers in any capacity. So I was like, I have to draw a giant or a collection of sunflowers. Other poems like Why I Write. It's a phoenix. I just
Wow.
there is I said in the line that I want my readers to come back from their dark places like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
Yes. And
Um,
that's under the one why. And first of all, you guys, let me just put this image up. This book is filled with 102 poetry pieces, and they range from monster to sunflower to growing up to bruises to inequality to the missing piece to new beginnings to dirty fingernails, Easter eggs, you name it. Every aspect of how we balance our lives is in here in a piece of poetry for you to be able to read to your young adult children, to your children, so that they can know how to guard themselves. It's a lot of stuff in this book that everybody probably should have in your library, I believe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really picked on the main point that I wanted the reader um to take hold of. Like, if there's nothing else, I want you to understand this part right here. And I made a picture out of that.
So the main point of each of your poetry pieces, the main takeaway, you draw an image to reflect it.
Yes.
And
yes.
it is beautifully illustrated, because exactly what you just said is what happens. When I read one piece, I look immediately to see, well, what's the main point of that?
Yeah.
And then I know, oh, it's the moon and the sun. And you got to, I'm like, I feel like I'm watching a Lifetime movie reading the collection of this poetry collection, y'all. Okay. Let me stay focused. Do you have like a pivotal moment that happened in your own life that led you to become the voice? Because I really feel like you are a voice and a force to be reckoned with when it comes to mental health awareness.
Thank you. I won't. Well, once I realized my role in most of my relationships, I think that was the pivotal moment, because ever since I was young, I was the go-to person to talk to. Trinity has the best advice. She may not have gone through it, but she knows how to help you through it. She's your biggest advocator. Trinity, if you need something to help you, she'll have the resources. And if she doesn't have it, she'll figure it out and give it to you. And I did it naturally. So once I finally realized, hey, this is something I do naturally, why don't I just do it intentionally now? Yeah. So once I started doing it intentionally and actually like putting my all into helping others, it became second nature.
So when you say intentionally, because a lot of times people really don't know how to be intentional about making something become a reality. What did you do to be intentional versus I'm writing it, it's mine, I'm hugging it, I'm loving it, I love what I've done, but nobody else ever benefits from it except for by mistake. Your sister encourages you type of thing. At least that's what we think. It's not by mistake. It was by God's divine order that she finally said, this has to salt the earth. It has to salt the earth. Okay, so what made you become intentional versus private?
When I started writing less from my experience and more from others' experiences, that's when I became more intentional. Like, there are some poems in here that I don't connect with because I wrote it from a place of my friend's struggle, or I wrote it from a place of what I've seen, what I work with, what I work through.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think I'm very empathetic, and I'm able to walk in other people's shoes very easily. So it inspires me in my writing. And that's when I became more intentional.
That's really good. And I want to know from in the studio audience too, what are some things that you're being intentional about regarding your life? Are you intentional regarding your career? Are you intentional regarding your health? Are you intentional regarding how you handle your relationships, your family members, your loved ones, your spouse, your significant other, your life partner? What are you really intentional about that you're proud to say, I put really strong effort into this? I would love for y'all to be able to share some things. And so your poetry pieces is something you're intentional about. Anything else that you want to share that you really feel like I'm intentional about this as well?
My art.
Yes.
Even though I'm not the best, like I'm not going to say I'm the best writer or I'm the best painter or anything.
You might as well claim it, baby. You can get an award. So stop putting it out in the atmosphere that you're not, because you look here. I don't know a lot of people that have 100 pieces that talk from love, pain, mirroring, personification, pain, avoidance, how you change your mind. I don't want to die, but I'm just tired of living. It's a lot of different pieces in here.
Yeah.
Lots of pieces.
Yeah. So I'm very intentional about my art. I love learning how to figure out different ways to express myself, and I'm starting to make stickers now. I have a lot of different stickers. Some of them go with poems. Some of them are just, about mental health. Some of them are about LGBTQ and just representation. Different types.
I talked about this on Sunday, even though I was talking about Pentecost Sunday is what I was actually talking about, and how the fact that on the day of Pentecost, when we were all, I say we, because I feel like I'm in the upper room myself. I felt like I had an upper room experience at my church service, but being in the upper room and being on one accord, and how all of us at that time allowed God to be able to have the Comforter be there for us to be able to evangelize and help encourage other people to come to learn about Christ. And one of the things that I mentioned is, you cannot tell me that we have the love of the Holy Spirit if we don't show love to everybody, regardless of whether we like them or don't like them, or like the behavior or don't like the behavior. We should be an example of God's love and grace and mercy to people, so that they can then learn more about Christ and what the expectations are, so we can get cleaned up in whatever areas that we're all lacking, because we all have some areas that we're lacking in. I don't know why I got sidetracked. You said you said something so that made me think of that.
I am a big supporter of underrepresentation. So if there's any way that I can, help represent or get that voice out there, get the word out there, I'm going to do it. So, yeah.
Well, I'm a big believer in God's word and honoring what the word of God says pertaining to all of our lives. And there are things that I have in my life that when you look in the word of God, is not pleasing to God. So it's just, if you come on that Sunday, you're going to hear that too, because that's not necessarily something that's pleasing in the sight of God or whatever. But I think, a lot of times we're eager to just grab hold, as my grandma would say, to things that we're good at. And then everybody else is like, poof, 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 get away.
Yeah.
You're not good in that area. Well, what? Who are we? You're not God. Stop it. Okay, anyway, let me carry on. Okay. So I also wanted to find out, I was trying to think of like a variety of things that you recently got an award. That's what I wanted to talk about. For one of your poetry pieces, The Rabbit Hole won what place?
First place.
And you're not, let me put my glasses sideways. You said this is not the best work. What is a higher place than first place? Tell me.
Nothing.
So, do you think that there might just be a possibility that, according to this work and body, that The Rabbit Hole won first place?
Yeah. I actually wasn't even going to enter the competition when I did, because I was just new to poetry, and I was like, I probably shouldn't do it. Let me just wait another year and then I'll do it. But my poetry teacher was like, no, this is amazing. Submit it. And it was right before COVID happened. And then COVID happened, and I didn't even know I won until like, a year later, because our school dispersed and everything happened. And my teacher actually told me in class, like, hey, did you know that you won this award? And I was like, what? Actually, the prize money came before they told me. That's how it happened. The prize money came before they told me, and I was just like, what is this?
Why do I have this money?
Yeah, it was really weird.
And then you got notified.
Then
you won first place for your piece. How did that emotionally charge you? As far as, were you motivated, excited, overwhelmed? What were you?
It was unreal. It was like, what? Me won first place? And I'm in a class with like 20 different amazing poets, and I'm like,
wow,
I won that? In the poem, they were like, it's so deep and it's so this. And they were like, oh, how long did it take you to write? And I'm just like, 5 minutes. Like, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So something that took you 5 minutes has impacted so many people. And I don't know. You want to wait until people get the book for that one?
No, that's fine. I can read it.
Okay, well, read it, because I want you to be the one to read that, because it's from your heart. And it won first prize. So before you read it, I want y'all to put in the comments that, put rabbit hole, hashtag rabbit hole. Somebody got to do something. I'm not going to just have her reading and nobody supported anything here. Let's see. Hashtag rabbit hole. And we will see if we're going to go ahead and let her read this. Let's see. Hashtag rabbit hole, y'all. Let's put some rabbit hole. I see you over on Instagram too as well. Type hashtag rabbit hole, and we're going to get her to read that piece. While we're getting you to type it, I will just go ahead and invite you to support the Kim Jacobs Show. While I'm giving them a chance to type, I want you to support the Kim Jacobs Show. Make sure you go ahead and pull it up though over there for real. Okay. Giving you a chance to pull it up too.
I got it.
Listen, y'all, make sure you support the Kim Jacobs Show just by contributing to our broadcast. We come on Monday through Friday, and now we're even offering more different times of availability to host our guests at the convenient times of their lives as well. So sometimes we'll be live at 9 a.m., we'll be live at 7 p.m., and we're live at 11 a.m., or either replaying the episode at 11. We're doing a wide variety of things to ensure that we capture all of you in your different households. So partner with us today, and any amount is greatly appreciated. You can do that through PayPal. Some people use PayPal, paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. You can do it through Venmo at the Kim Jacobs Show, or patreon.com and join our membership programs, or Zelle or Apple Cash. And I'll scroll this throughout the rest of the episode, so you will be able to just keep it in the forefront of your mind. And thank you for your contribution in advance. All right, tell us, Rabbit Hole, award-winning Portuguese.
Just as Alice, she fell into the alluring hole. Just as Alice, she fell, but didn't really fall. Just as Alice, things flew past her, but not Alice things. No, these things were evil, mean. These pictures, these playing cards, these painted roses, these clocks. These monsters of mine were her foes, not friends. They taunt and tease, bruise and scream. Unlike her, when Alice came back, no time had passed. But with her, years went by. Each mirror showed age, each clock painted years, each passing day she grew. She grew crazy, scary, mad. But thank God we're all mad here.
You know what? That pinched my heart a little bit. So what was the rationale behind this?
I'm a huge Lewis Carroll fan, huge Alice in Wonderland fan. And of course, most of my poems are about mental health. So I wanted to use the two in parallelism to show how mental health affects a person.
Yes.
And to show like they're there physically, but mentally they're not there at all. And with this poem, I see like I had people with schizophrenia, multi-personality disorder, all those in mind when I wrote it.
Yes.
And I wanted to show like, I wanted to show how mental health really can take away a person's years.
My gosh. Listen, when I saw this image, this is the image that's in there.
Yeah.
And it sends chills over me to see this particular image associated with this piece of work, because what it reminds me of, and well, I gotta be careful. It's a person. I'll just leave it at generic. And I asked this person that was diagnosed with autism. I said, well, what changed? It's like all of a sudden you're like a whole different person. I don't understand what happened. Before you were like this, and now since you've been diagnosed with this, you're like fitting into the mold of what all of the statistics say that comes along with that. And the person said, that's because I was trying to be what everyone else wanted me to be.
Yeah.
And now I can be true to myself. I can just be me and know that finally maybe somebody believes whatever it is because there's an official diagnosis. I say that to say there are so many people that are masking their situations, and your poetry will give people the freedom to unmask themselves.
Yeah. I really wanted people to see like you're not alone in this, and it's okay to struggle.
Yeah.
And it's okay to not be okay. Yeah.
I feel better being around you. I literally just recently met you, and I was like, immediately, I just happened to sit beside you at the event, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, who is this that I'm connecting with this? And hearing our conversation, and I felt like I just feel better because I'm beside her.
Thank you.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
so that's the impact that you have on people.
I've actually had a patient tell me that my aura is calming and they like to be near me.
Yes.
So for you to like, and then I've had people say like, I'm a big ray of sunshine. So to hear you say that, it's like, oh, thank you. It's like really settling in now.
And accepting it. And then I think
Yeah.
sometimes too, when you start to accept more of your gifts and your talents that God has really trusted you with, that maybe somebody else is entrusted with that particular piece of the world responsibility, it's like you have to use it or the whole world misses out.
Yeah.
So it's like you're depriving all of us if you don't use your gifts and your talents.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. You're like, girl, we ain't in church. Go, let me just finish
No,
that.
I love it.
Yeah, so this is just really helpful. I would like for you, Mackenzie, backstage. She's backstage helping me. If you would please pop some of the studio audience comments up, I'd greatly appreciate it. And let's see what some of the people are saying backstage. I mean, in the studio audience. Let's see. And then in the meantime, too, many of your poems explore depression and anxiety and loneliness. Why was that so important when you were writing on your pieces?
Well, I used to say I write sad pieces because not everyone knows what happiness is, but everyone knows what sadness is.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Yeah, so not everybody can experience happiness, but everybody knows what pain is. Everybody knows what it feels like to be lonely. Everybody knows what it feels like to be down and down on your luck and everything. So I wanted to come at a place of commonality.
Wow.
And I wanted to get on their level and then bring them up.
Well, I think this answers one of my next questions, which is I really wanted to understand the process as far as, does the poem come first or the emotion of the poem associated with it come? But now I think you just answered that. Does the actual
Honestly,
poem?
it depends.
Okay.
It really depends. Sometimes the poem comes first, but usually it's like, if the poem comes first, it's something that I was feeling that I didn't realize I was feeling. So it brings it to light. The poem brings it to light. And it's just like, oh, that's something I got to work through. Let's pinpoint that emotion. Or like my best friend, she has, if I tell her I'm feeling sad today, she immediately brings out the emotion wheel. Which one are these feeling? You said you're feeling sad. All right, let's go underneath it. Is it really depression? Is it really loneliness? Is it really this? Is it really that? And then we get down to the basics, the basic 6 emotions. And that's how we work through our mental health issues. So sometimes when the poem comes first, I'm just like, okay, emotion wheel. This poem sounds like anger. Okay, what's under anger? How am I actually feeling?
Wow.
And then when the emotion comes first, it's like I'm lost in a trance, and it's just the pen and paper. And it's like whatever comes out, and I'm unapologetic about it.
So this, what you're saying, is so important, because there are ways then that you would need to protect your vulnerability when it comes to your own emotional well-being. Because when I've been reading through this sucks you into that world of that particular piece that you've written. So I'm immediately, because I used to be in young authors conference and all kind of stuff when I was a kid. So I love reading, and Judy Blume, Beverly Clear, all them people.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love it. So when I'm reading this, I feel like I'm being taken into the journey of that particular poetry piece that you're and it's emotional, it's laughter, it's every piece of the emotion wheel is there. How do you protect your own vulnerability and emotional well-being writing stuff like this?
I don't. I allow myself to be completely raw. when I'm writing. I feel like that's the only way it's complete. Like I have stuff in my archives. I'm just like, that's like the surface level.
Right.
We need to go deeper. We need to actually hash this out. We need to, me and the pen versus my brain and my depression. Like we gotta get through it.
Right.
And so
wow.
All my poems shows are a piece of me. They're my children, they're my babies. Each poem you can read, you find a part of me in them.
That was what I was wondering too, because I heard you say some of these are stories from some of your patients and some of your friends and different people that you've encountered along the way. But you're saying that a piece of each of these collective items also is a part of you.
Yes. Like I'll take a poem about anger or love. I'll take a poem about love. Most of my love poems are different perspectives, but I also put myself in that person's shoe. How would I feel watching this? Like the poem Wanting is about wanting to be in love. And it was like me watching a wedding. So it's me seeing that love of that person, of this couple, like this amazing God-fearing love. And it's just like, well, I want that. I've never experienced it, but I want that. And that's me taking from their experiences, but putting it in my perspective, you know?
You're such a beautiful soul, man. I don't know. Does poetry make you feel that way about a person? Because it's like, beautiful soul. This is so inspiring is what this is. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now, you've been through some things yourself because I know that you are interested heavily in trauma therapy as well. And so what do you want to share? Because I don't want to steer you in any direction pertaining to that. What do you want people to know in dealing with trauma? And if whatever personal piece you want to share about your own journey.
Okay, so I want to do rape trauma. That's my niche. That's what I want to do my dissertation on. That's what I want to do. Of all ages and genders and whatever. Growing up, a lot of my friends have been through that, and they would come to me and be like, hey, like, I don't know how to feel. Help me. Or they come to me and be like, I need a vent. Like I had one friend who had came over because their assaulter was their family member and they had a family gathering that day. And they just had to be in the same space with their assaulter. So lost my train of thought. So
that'll make you lose your train of thought.
Yeah. So just having those experiences, having that vulnerability at such a young age was so, I'm not going to say it's traumatizing, but it did leave a lasting impact. Not going through it myself, but basically going through it secondhand and healing with my friends.
Of course, if you're a true friend, right?
Yeah. Healing with my friends and helping them through that.
Yes.
It definitely left an impact. And I was just like, God definitely put me in that place for a reason. And I should keep going with that.
That's so good. That's so good. And you keep mentioning friends. And that is, I think that is almost like a universal theme that's happening throughout this conversation. How important are friends in your journey? And maybe even who's inspired you from a creativity perspective and a spirituality perspective? Any thoughts on that?
Friends and family are extremely important to me. Especially like your family is your family. They're there no matter what.
Yes.
They're extremely important to me. But I also believe a chosen family is extremely important as well. Who you surround yourself with, who you associate with, who helps build you up is extremely important. And I have not a lot of friends, but the friends I do have definitely make up in quality than
That's
quantity.
good. That's good. Yeah.
So they've been with me through a lot, and they helped me through a lot. And even friends that I've had when I was younger that we don't talk every day, they're still like, hey, congratulations on that book. Like, that's amazing. I knew you would always do that. So like, even though they're not there with me every day, I can still fall back on them.
That's right.
And like I said, I give and give and give. So it's important to me that, you know, when I'm empty, my friends are there to fill me back up.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That is so good. Yeah. I talk to my daughter often about just having quality friends. And I think personally, she just would rather be without, maybe if she can count on her hands type of thing only, without dealing with people that she feels like they don't have her best interest at heart.
Yeah.
And especially if they have certain, you know how people have like bonds and things that you say, this is our honor code and this is what we're going to do. And then if one of you don't honor that, then in her opinion, she's like, that cannot be my friend because they don't have my best interest. Like what you said, your friend would pull out an emotion wheel and say, okay, where are you today? That's huge. That's a friend for life.
Yeah.
Because they're looking at it and saying, where are you falling with your emotions on this wheel, so I can determine how I can help you, or if I need to get some outside intervention.
Yeah,
I love your friends. I tell them I love them just as much as I love you already. So it's like, hey friends, how y'all doing? Who inspires you from a creativity perspective and a spirituality perspective in the studio audience? Please put whoever it is. I know for me, my mom inspires me. And a lot of times when you say your mom, it's like people say, oh, you know, that's a generic answer. No, my mom is one of the most compassionate people, full of grace, full of mercy to every person she encounters. I'm like, that can't even be humanly possible, but it really is with her. Once you meet my mom, she would actually... you'll be like, oh, I love her too. She'll get your name, your address, your birthday. You send your birthday card. I'm like, oh my gosh, my mama is something special. So she really does inspire me a lot.
Yeah.
She's a dream come true. All right. Okay. Studio audience comments. Let's do a flash round. Some of the comments that's been coming in. We want to acknowledge your comments and see if Trinity has anything to say to some of you all that took the time to type. Rabbit hole. I see you. You done hashtag rabbit hole. You did it. You did it. She said, Mackenzie said, yes, I know it messes me up. It messes me up. I don't know what messed you up, Mackenzie. Tell me. I don't remember. You probably said that early on in the show. Let's see. Mindset is something that I'm very intentional about.
Yeah.
Right now, my business, my rest, my man.
What are you intentional about?
Oh, well, let me make sure I understand. She put 3 times my man, my man. She is very intentional about who? Her man. If she ain't intentional about nothing else, he definitely getting a lot of great love because she's intentional about her man. All right. Let's see other comments. Hi, I'm Mackenzie, and I have depression, and I take my meds every day. Do you want to speak to that at all, Trinity?
I don't, so I congratulate you. I forget often to take my meds, and there's a huge difference, and it helps me creativity wise, but throughout my day-to-day it does. There's a difference. You can see a difference. So I'm trying to get better with that. Yeah.
That's good. That's good to know.
Little vulnerability.
That's good. So again, you're being very transparent and honest. And I love that because you can't you can't build on any foundation unless the foundation starts with truth and honesty. So thank you. My friend Tavia for sure, and Monique. My boyfriend and my friend Alyssa inspire me as well. And you notice one thing, she didn't even put her boyfriend's name out there. She's like, oh, none of y'all need to know about my man. He called my man. That's what she called him. She didn't even put a name out there. She put everybody else's name. Tavia, Monique, my boyfriend, and my friend Alyssa. So she kept the boyfriend name like, call him what you want to call him because he's what?
My
man. All right. You having the show at 3 times is very confusing. Oh, got me all messed up, Kim. I know. Mackenzie's so funny. She's like, what time we going live today? I said, we're going live today at 7. We're going live at 9. But at the end of the day, at 11 a.m. every weekday, you'll be able to see, like this episode, you'll be able to see it at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So either way, you're going to always be able to catch the show at 11 a.m. for sure. All right. Let's see. Well, I should say always, because everything don't be always. Sometimes I might change it and be permanently 9 and 7. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, Trinity is so lovable.
Oh, thank you. Don't make me blush.
Yes, come through. Lots of love pouring out over there. All right, let's see anything. I had a question for you.
Yes.
How about let's not do that, Kim? Okay, we can have a personal meeting, Mackenzie. Thank you so much for airing our dirty laundry on the show. We appreciate you and your, but we can have a team meeting for that. All right, y'all don't even need to know his name. That's what she's back on her boyfriend. This whole show is about Ashley and who?
Her boyfriend.
Her man. Between her and Mackenzie. Okay, listen. You know how people often say, what would you tell your younger self now? Mm-hmm. What I would like to do is reverse that and ask you, what would your younger self say to you today?
I can't believe we made it to 25. Yeah, I used to live my life one day at a time.
Interesting.
And I used to have like big plans and schedule out my life. Each year was this goal, this goal, this goal. Right. And it was because like my depression was really bad when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, maybe if I keep these goals up, I'll live past 18, maybe, hopefully, prayerfully. So the fact that I'm actually achieving the goals I just to wake up in the morning and get out of bed in the morning. It's like, wow, I can't believe you actually made it. Right. And you're actually doing it. And yeah, they would probably be amazed about that I'm actually achieving each goal. So yeah.
Wow. So your younger self would be very proud of you today. Yes. And would be honored to be in your body as she grows up to this level of life. So I'm so proud of you. Listen, I had some questions that I was going to ask about your show concept, but I don't want you to reveal those right now on purpose, because I do a thing, just so y'all know, and I teach people how to start their own talk shows from scratch. And so I encourage you, if you have not registered for our next group training. The next training is about to pop off. We have new students getting ready to graduate. And I encourage you to go ahead and you can send a text communication, or you can also email and find out how you can be one of the 5 students, well, maybe 4, because maybe Trinity may be one of them, because she has a phenomenal show concept. And I would love to help her vet it out and be able to launch her show right. Okay. So anyway, make sure you know that our group training is getting ready to kick off, and you are welcome to be one of the 5 students. We only take 5, and it's for a reason, because I have to customize the entire experience. I've been on PBS and on the Word Network, and have been endorsed by Les Brown on some things that he invites people to take the training course and tells you to highly recommends the course. So anyway, make sure you take advantage of that. And speaking of Les Brown, I'm actually have an classic audio download. So if you have not ever heard from back in the day, now Dr. Les Brown, international motivational speaker, we have a classic audio download that's only $19.99. It was a 2 CD set, converted it to audio download. So when you submit your funding for it right there at kimjacobsshow.com, you'll receive it electronically, and you can go ahead and enjoy some classic teaching that's very relevant even today. So don't miss the opportunity to do that. Any closing comments? What's next for you? And I want to put this book up again to how people can get a copy of Trinity Monaá, a poetry collection. So tell people first how they can get the book.
It's on Amazon. If you just search up Trinity Monaá, it'll pop up. It's also on Barnes and Nobles. I'm also going to be doing a book signing event on November. Okay. Here in Charlotte at That's Novels Bookstore. So that'll be November 8th.
Make sure you come back on the show. Well, you'll be back because you're going to be one of the experts and doing all kinds of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
But make sure leading up to it that we announce that and have a flyer and everything so we can put it up to give people invitations to come.
Yeah. So that's how you can get the book. And I am currently working on part 2. So yeah.
Another 100 and something. Girl, you gonna make me lose my mind.
I only have like 4 poems right now, but yeah, I am working on a part 2.
There are over 100 pieces that will surely resonate with you and your family. You don't want to miss getting a copy of this book, Trinity Monaá Poetry Collection. Stay connected with Trinity Monaá at Monaá_poetry writings right on Instagram at Monaá_poetry writings right on Instagram. And also thank you so much to CTR Media Network. I honored as number 3 in over 140 countries, 350 million households around the country. So make sure you know that if you download the CTR Media app right on Roku, Amazon TV, and all of those different things, we were number 3 for the month of May, thanks to your support in the community. So thank you all for all that you do. Yes, it's available on Amazon. So get your copy today. Go get a copy of Trinity Monaá, a poetry collection. Any closing comment, Trinity?
Thank you so much for having me. This has been amazing, an amazing experience.
Well, if you enjoyed this, I have plenty of talk show hosts that would love to host you, and they will be honored to do so. So it'll be my pleasure to connect you.
Of course, I would love to do it.
Okay. Yeah. And thank you all so much. And let me make sure I didn't miss anybody over on Instagram. I see all of you all. And I just want to say thank you, Jay. I see you, Jay Gerard. I see you, Spare the Rod, Dr. Somerville. I see all of you guys. And thank you all so much for participating over there on Instagram as well. Life is better because each of you all are a part of my life. So I'm really grateful. Thank you for allowing us to bring balance to the world, one household at a time. Thank you, Mackenzie backstage. And thank you, Trinity Monaá. God bless you all. I love you and have a great night. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you and make it a great day.